Dreams. How can I achieve my dreams? That's the topic for discussion today, and I'm going to give you 3 primary steps to make your dreams come true. They're what I've used with my clients as a coach, and are the most effective way you can achieve your dreams and all that comes along with it. So let's get started with step number 1. Step number 1 is desire. And all the things we're going to be talking today are based on chapter 19 of The Power of Awareness. It gives those 3 steps and highlights, along with Neville Goddard's other books and lectures, of how we can effectively utilize all 3 steps. So in chapter 19 of Essentials, and that's how important they're called. They are called essentials. They're essential because those 3 steps need to be carried out if you want to manifest your dreams into reality and achieve them. Step 1 again is desire. You need to know what you want. Seems pretty basic, but if you actually ask the average person, they may give us a very general answer. Well, I want to be healthy, I want to be happy, I want to have a loyal partner, I want my kids to behave, I want to enjoy my job better, I want to have a different job, in fact, this, that, and the other. So they might be just general longings that most of us have. And there's nothing wrong with that. But I want you to pick one specific goal. Okay? You can write out as many as you like, but then let's narrow it down to 1. So in fact, that's what I would recommend, is making sure you have a notepad, pen and paper, and actually write out in detail the goal that you would like to accomplish. Now in doing that, you can cover a lot of different areas if you like. You can first get the entire picture, what you'd like to accomplish in every area of your life. And for you, may be different than the list I give. But for example, it may be in connection with love. It may also be with career. It might be with health. It may be with business or career or work. And in harmony with what Bob Proctor suggested that I used, is you can draw a circle. And in the middle of the circle is me. You, right? And then branch off and select each area of primary importance. They might be 3, they might be 5, they could be more. But primary areas of your life that are the most important for you. Okay, now, when you have those written out, now go into each one and write out in detail specifically what you'd like to see happen with each one. So, for example, when it comes to career, don't just write out, I want to be an engineer. What kind of engineer? For what kind of company? Doing what? Now, you really probably do know which area you'd like to expand in when it comes to your career. Write that out in detail. Okay, what you would like to see happen in your life as regards your career. You could do it as regards love. Now, it's not good enough to just say, I want a loving partner. What qualities would they have? I specifically wrote out 16 qualities, very specific qualities that were involved with their physical appearance, their hobby types, right? Their womanly qualities that I was looking for, their outgoingness. And I'm giving you general of those, but I actually was very specific, even romantically, which I don't want to share with you really, because they're rather personal. But I even wrote what I would like romantically in my relationship. Because we've all had those relationships that maybe started out like a firecracker, but then in certain areas you said, I wish she or he would be better with this or that in relates to romance and activities, likes, dislikes, etc. So what are those commonalities that are a priority for you, that are important for you specifically? Detail them. Get specific in each area. And now, out of all those goals, which one for you right now is at the top of the list? Is it a relationship? Is it a career? Whatever that specific goal is, let's now focus in on that particular goal for the moment. Because we want to supercharge it and relates to the 3 steps. We're still on step 1, desire. Because step 3 ties right into step 1, and then I'm going to give you step 2. So stay for all 3 because I'm going to highlight the importance of step 3 when we come to it shortly. Okay, and step 2 is to go into that alpha state, that relaxed state, meditative state of receptivity. Because what you're really going to do is you're going to program this desire as being already yours into your subconscious. And you do that in what is the most receptive state of mind, the alpha brain wave state. And you may have heard about this if you're into the law of attraction and the law of assumption, as I am. You may have already heard these terms before, but let's think about this. If your mind is still busy thinking about all of your challenges and activities of the day, your mind isn't going to be in that receptive state. So you need to completely relax. So what is suggested is that you find a comfortable place, whether it be laying flat on your back, in a comfortable chair, whatever works for you, where you can sit back or lay back, perhaps on a pillow, and just breathe and let go. I have 2 marvelous videos in my playlist concerning meditation and getting into that alpha relaxed brainwave state. Okay, so that's step 2. And then step 3 is when you now take that desire and you imagine it already fulfilled. So you want to imagine that your wish or desire is already fulfilled. It's already happened. It's yours. You are living that life. You have that career. You have that partner. You are living in that new house or the area or place you wanted to move to. You've made that career change. You have taken those steps and now you are actually living that life. For example, I had a client from Europe, and she wanted to move to a completely different country, which was England. And she wanted to move specifically to London, and she had a specific career and job that she wanted to have living in London. She knew the apartment style, the location, the area that she wanted, where she wanted to live. The problem was the challenge was she didn't have the visa. She didn't quite have the means at that time. She didn't know how it was going to happen. But understanding how the law of assumption works that we're talking about here in this process, what is key and most important is assuming that it's already yours. So in step 3, you're believing and visualizing and seeing it as already yours. And then you take that into this immobilized, relaxed state. First, know what you want. Second, become completely relaxed. And when you're ready, bring your desire into it. Imagine it as already yours and meditate on what it would be like. So, in getting into this feeling of a specific desire already yours, ask yourself such questions as, what would it be like if I was already that person living that life? What would it feel like? Because feeling is so very, very important in this. You have to feel that it's already yours. What would you be experiencing if you were in that new location? What type of things would you be doing? Or what specifically might you be engaged in if you were with that partner of your dreams. And then to take this even to a higher level, another step, it's very, very powerful, and that is to take from that one specific scene or event that will imply that you already have it. One of Neville's best examples is the congratulatory scene or event. And that is where you've got the job, you're on that job, it's successful, and your director and boss absolutely loves you, and he comes into the office or where you're working and says, I need to speak to you for a minute. And he says, you know what, I just want to let you know you're doing fantastic. And he reaches his hand out maybe and congratulates you, pats you on the shoulder and says, you know what, you're doing absolutely amazing, and we are so glad we brought you on to into our company. And your work is excellent. Congratulations, and thank you so much for being an employee with us. You are doing amazing. So I verbalized that, but what would that look like? And what would it feel like if you had your imaginary hand, because you're imagining all this and you're actually shaking hands with him or her? What would your office look like? Have you gone and applied at that place? Perhaps you know what the building looks like. Perhaps you have an idea of the interior. If not, perhaps you can see online and get a better idea of what that location is like. And you want to imagine yourself already there, already experiencing it. Neville talks about the difference between thinking of your wish and desire, which we did in step 1. The desire you want to see result, right? The dream you want to see come true. And actually being in it, dwelling in it, and thinking from it. So to think from it is the key to step 3 of dwelling in your wish as fulfilled. Because it's thinking from it that brings it to life and implies that you already have it. Because if you're already thinking from it, you're there. A terminology that Neville uses is you want to make there right here. You want to make then now. So if you're literally making a move to another location or city or another career, you want to make that imagined reality already yours now in your imagination. If you're moving to another place, like I moved to a beach life, and I'm living my beach life here in the Philippines, I imagined that first, and I was living from it. So I wasn't looking at myself living in the Philippines, for example. I saw myself there. I saw my feet in the sand. I was looking out over my legs with my feet in the sand, the ocean in front of me, the mountains behind me, along with my nearby home, right? And the warm sun on my shoulders, the cool breeze, warm breeze, the tropical environment, the sound of the crashing waves washing up by my feet, the palm trees swaying gently in the breeze around me and behind me, the beautiful green mountains that you find in these tropical islands, and the wonderful clear blue waters of the ocean in front of me. I saw all of that in vivid detail in my mind. Okay. So thinking from your wish is extremely important. Dwelling in it, and then you can do what Neville calls, which is living in the end. Because when you come out of your meditation, of which I have 2 great videos on meditation, please look up both of those in my playlists on how to meditate and actually get into this alpha state, and with your imagine that you're already there, and then bring in a specific event that would happen. Imagine that event happening and replay it over and over and over in your mind while you fall asleep. Now, why is that important? Because now you're bringing that subjective state that you've imagined having right into your mind and heart, and you're sinking it down into your subconscious mind. Now, we've shown that this subjective state of belief within, once it becomes natural, everything else unfolds in your life. That's why you may need to do this night after night. You want to keep doing it until you are absolutely confident that you know it's going to happen. You might not have the evidence yet. You might not see any changes in your world. You might be still dealing with your present challenges. Be indifferent to all of that, because you've focused on your desired outcome so much. You've meditated on it to the point where it's become natural that you know it's yours. It's just a matter of time. You don't know what that time interval is going to be, whether it's a few weeks, a few months. You don't know how long that's going to take, but you're not worried about that because you are convinced it's yours. And it's just a matter of it opening up and developing in your life. So that series of events will happen to make it real in your life. Now let's go back and reiterate. Step 1, know what you want. In detail, get out a notebook and write it out. Now you might have to do this scripting or journaling daily, and I recommend you do it every day because you might tweak it and rewrite it and say, you know what, I really don't need this particular quality in a partner. What I really want is this in my partner. Okay? Be honest with yourself when it comes to love and relationships. What specifically do you really want? There is that match out there. There is that person that exists, and I found that out in my life recently as I found, for me, the ideal lady that had all 16 of the detailed specific qualities that I wrote down. Okay, and I was patient. I didn't compromise. I stuck with it until I actually met her. And now she's a marvelous part of my life. If it's a career you're looking for, yes, you may need to do some training. Yes, you may have to develop a skill. But you have to believe that you can and will have that job, that career, and then see yourself in it. When you truly come to believe it and it becomes natural for you, that you've accepted it completely, you'll meet the right people, you'll get the right phone call, you'll get a suggestion, you may bump into somebody in a supermarket. It could happen a number of ways where you meet that person who says, you know, I'm looking for a man like you, or I'm looking for a woman like you to work for me and work with me. Could you start tomorrow? Come in my office and let's have a talk. And boom, that dream job happens, right? So things don't always happen the way you expect them to. In fact, many times they happen in unexpected ways, seemingly miraculous, and at other times they happen in ways that are completely natural and normal, so much to the point you think to yourself, you know what, that would have happened anyway. And that's what you got to watch out for, because you know what? Very likely it wouldn't have happened anyway. It happened because you imagined it true. You used your power of imagination and you followed the 3 steps of desire, knowing what you want, immobilizing yourself in that meditative, receptive state, clearing everything from your mind and becoming completely receptive and relaxed, and then brought in the desired outcome you seek, very specifically, even narrowing it down to a particular scene or event, and then dwelled on that and looped it over and over in your mind as actual as you fell asleep and sounded it down into your subconscious, and then things simply happen. So friends, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will talk to you again soon.